Debates die hard. The political class is already rooting for partisan interests. Which way, Ruto? This story is extensively covered on pages 4 and 5 of this daily. It is a big discussion. You saw Robert Alai, the MCA for Kileleshwa, here yesterday, and they are so convinced cabinet position is out. In fact, I saw one story where they're saying that ODM, or rather Azimio, has already been allocated a number of cabinet slots, but now the wrangling is, okay, how many does ODM take? And what is left for the others? And probably that's the biggest debate within that coalition. The other story given prominence on the front page of the Standard this morning: court suspends police ban on protests in CBD. But I don't know why, because either way, you Gen Zs obeyed the ban by the police, and there were no show yesterday, despite earlier indications that they would occupy Uhuru Park. Judge says Kenyans have the right to picket, and police should not stop anyone from demonstrating in Nairobi's Central Business District. So, mukikosa kwenda, usiseme ati police alis.
I'm pretty sure, and they were very ready, by the way. They were very ready.
All right. The quick headlines on the front page of the Standard: TRT project residents up in arms over compensation, and quick highlights on the top strip of the Standard: Chief fights it out with man over paternity rights. That's a very interesting story on page 3 of the Standard. Matters business: budget cuts, State House and DP hit hard. Regional investments double, and in sports, the ultimate challenge, Paris Olympics.
The list of those going to Paris was released yesterday.
Yes.
Yes.
It's interesting to see the kind of firepower we have for the Olympics. I think we're good. We're doing good. Something else I need to mention. Have you seen Arsenal's away kit?
Oh, yes. It looks like a Kenyan jersey.
Kenyan colors.
And Kenyans were asking, kwani hata Kenya tugefikiria hiyo?
But you see, the thing is, the Kenyan flag has been out there for quite a while now. So I think someone borrowed, got some inspiration from that. It is dominated by black and then strips of green, red, and of course white.
Yes.
So it's only shield ndio imekosa hapo. Wangeongeza tu hivi shield, becomes a Kenyan team.
As much as I'm a Man U fan, you're just you're not a footer. Because I mean, imagine going to the protest with that, wearing that jersey.
Okay.
Hey. And obviously on the pulse, I wish tungekuwa na ile physical tuangalie vizuri.
Leo ni Friday, hata hakuna traffic kwa jamaa milala.
On the front page of Daily Nation, the big headline: Raila is shadowed Ruto State House, and the faces of the two gentlemen there, they're calling it a big gamble. The ODM chief Raila Odinga has emerged as one of President William Ruto's closest confidants in the wake of the ongoing anti-government protests is not in doubt. The two are said to be meeting regularly, with their discussions centered on pacifying the country and the formation of, quote-unquote, a broad-based government. Pages 4 and 5 of that story. On the bottom, they're asking who will become the next police boss. Picture there, Acting Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja, also Major General Afaksenad Kinegu, Kenya Military Academy Commandant, and Kenya Police College Commandant. On other stories on the right, autopsy. A Nakuru student fell out of a moving car. Picture there, Eileen Chirotich, the 22-year-old Rift Valley Institute of Science and Technology student who was found dead in Nakuru on Sunday after a night out with friends, died of a severe head injury, a post-mortem report has revealed. At the headlines on the very top, Scroll Ministry unveils 161-member team to Paris Olympics, is on page 39. And into matters of national security and crossing over even to Haiti. Kenyan police retake port from Haiti gangs, and gangsters defeated after a gunfight. You could see some photos yesterday going viral of Haitians taking photos of the Kenyan police patrolling the streets. You can see some were happy that they are there. Yes. And there was a whole mixed reactions even from the Haitians seeing the Kenyan police.
All right.
And that is the Daily Nation for you.
No loans for 153,000 Gen Zs. That's a big headline on the front page of the People Daily this morning. But it has to do with matters education. House team reveals that cash allocated to HELB, universities fund, scholarships drastically cut in budget. a move that could see parents pay college fees or students get locked out of lecture halls. So this is a direct effect of the budget cuts that you've been demanding for. So unaambiwa nyinyi tu ndo mnaumia. Meanwhile, Gachagwa's wife seeks 2.7 billion shillings budget. This is how they've juxtaposed these stories on the front page of the People Daily. Down there, Wetangula on the cross as House resumes after rage. They're coming back next week. Yes, wametoka mafichoni. Hakuna kujificha tena. MPs are back next week. What you do with that information ni mambo yako.
And actually, there's a post already for demonstrations on Tuesday, for the 23rd.
But not in Parliament, is it?
We wait to see and plan further over the weekend.
Talking of maandamano, there's a highlight on the top strip. Majority of Kenyans back demos, says study. It's by one of the pollsters.
Yeah.
And so, yes, the quota said you have the right to picket and the police should not stop you. Majority of Kenyans say they are backing the demos. Okay, I'm not saying anything. Fine, that's People Daily this morning.
Right, from People Daily, let's take a look at the Star. The Star is now that has the pollsters there. Well, apart from the big headline that we've taken a look at, the same majority of Kenyans support Gen Z movement and wants state to cut spending. So they have for TIFA, the different regions. And the question was, to what extent do you support the Gen Z movement that is seeking various reforms for Kenya? A total general was 80%, 81%, that was a mean. Nairobi 90%, and this went all the way to Nyanza 89, Central 88, Northeastern 83, 81, 80, all the way.
Rift Valley is the lowest at 73, but 73% is almost three quarters.
Quite high.
That's quite high.
You make Caribbean A, by the way.
Yeah, you're baby.
Age group between 18 to 34, which is Gen Zs as well as millennials, a few millennials, 83%, 35 years plus 80%. For InfoTrack, they were asking, what do you think are the main causes of the youth-led protests? Majority is saying high cost of living, followed by unemployment, withdrawal of the finance bill, government corruption, high cost of education, lack of political representation, economic inequality, inspiration from protests in other countries, interesting one, poor business environment, going all the way down. That one for poor business getting the lowest of that rank. Other headlines, Pale Chini, slain Kware woman was social media addict, says brother, on page 2. And a 14-year-old girl dies by suicide in Naivasha. Some sad news there. And also some bad news, shocker to varsity students after state slashes funding. This headline is synonymous even in other dailies. On the siasa pullout, make a break for Kalonzo.
Right. Habari kuu kwenye ukurasa wa mbele wa Taifa Leo wanasema pressure kote kote kwa Ruto. Rais akabiliwa na changamoto ukiwemo uasi ambazo zimetikisa utawala wake wa chini ya miaka miwili. Rais William Ruto anakabiliwa na changamoto tele kuhusu mwelekeo ambao taifa litachukua kutokana na matukio ya kisiasa yanayoendelea nchini. Na uasi wa naibu wake, vijana wa Gen Z kukaa ngumu, shinikizo za kuteua mawaziri wapya, pingamizi kwa serikali ya muungano na uchumi kusambaratika ni miongoni tu mwa yanayomfanya rais kujikuna kichwa. Na kuna picha ya rais hapo wenyewe anakaa anajikuna kichwa.
Amefikiria,
pressure kote kote. Vidokezo zaidi kwenye ukurasa wa mbele, waliopiga mwandishi risasi motoni. IPOA inachunguza polisi waliojeruhi mwanahabari wakati wa maandamano, na hiyo ni habari ambayo tunaiunga mkono. Kwingineko, kufidia wafanyikazi afisi ya mke wa rais shilingi bilioni 1.7. Na masuala ya mataifa, Biden asitisha kampeni baada ya kuugua, wanasema ameshikwa na maradhi ya COVID. Pale juu, wabunge wa ODM walionya Raila kuhusu dili. Mkutano wa kundi la wabunge wa ODM inasemekana ulishindwa kuafikiana kuhusu kujiunga na serikali ya Ruto, lakini tunavyojua kwamba panapo moshi pakosi moto.
Na mwanasiasa jana alisema alipiga picha katika mkutano huo, akasema we are not boarding.
Na la mwisho hapa, masuala ya spoti. Argentina, Uhispania fiti katika FIFA. Argentina kileleni mwa jedwali la FIFA, Uhispania wakichupa hadi nambari 3. Kwenye ukurasa wa 20, habari kamili utaipata pale.
And finally, on Business Daily, about 3 stories that you really need to know this morning. First off, the big headline, mortgage defaults hit record 40 billion cash shillings on interest rates rise. Just a nutshell of that, they say the value of non-performing mortgage loans in Kenya hit an all-time high of 40.8 billion cash shillings in December of 2023 on the back of higher interest rates and difficult economic conditions borrowers are facing. So the newly released Central Bank of Kenya data shows that there was an 8% or 3 billion increase in the value of bad loans for mortgage lenders last year, which capped a tough 2 years for the segment. Something interesting that you need to know on that. Pale chini, journalism is not a crime. They have a photo there of journalists, I believe in Nakuru. Yes, this is in Nakuru town yesterday protesting. Another very interesting story on the ticker, on the right, public servants hit as Salaries and Remuneration Commission extends pay rise freeze. So the SRC has extended the freeze on salary increments to all public officers, dimming hopes of civil servants seeking improved take-homes every month. Kumeanza kuwaka moto.
All right.
That is on Matters Companies on page 8. And those are the headlines for you this morning. Tuingie kwenye cartoons this morning. Mkona ya The Star. Hapa. Has to do with the Matters chairs and everything, and that whole supposed dialogue. On the other side, the gentleman has already pulled his seat. On this other side, this gentleman who caricature that resembles Azimio leader Raila Odinga. This is a cartoon on The Star. Anajaribu ku the seats that were actually just behind him, zote zimerushwa. Yeah, akasema no, I'm going to stand. And the cartoonist has a quote by Albert Einstein: "In the midst of every crisis lies great opportunity." In The Star, People Daily.
Star no stake. We have the Prime Cabinet Secretary, anaitwa sasa CS of everything. Musalia Mudavadi inside a shoe with a cabinet flag hapo mbele. Imeandikwa all ministries. Only the wearer knows where the shoe pinches. Yes, that's a commentator. Yes, because you can't possibly run all those ministries. But it's interesting. The Cabinet Secretary in charge of everything, Musalia Mudavadi there. It's unfortunate we may not have the physical copy of the Standard and the cartoon, but they're talking about a role reversal, and they have images of 2 gentlemen. That's the Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, and now Raila Odinga sitting on a watermelon. So role reversal.
Role reversal.
Now,
fruit reversal.
Who is now associated with the with the watermelon? And he says dialogue on one hand, and no dialogue on the other.
Ya Kalonzo angeka kishikilia machungo basi.
Move on. So amesema no dialogue and you're stuck to it. Yeah, so the watermelon tag shifts from Kalonzo Musyoka to Raila Odinga. That's a cartoon on the Standard today.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Coming up at around past 8:30 a.m., we'll be getting into some feel-good Friday, some nice kind of music.
Oh yes.
On the 1s and 2s, 3s and 4s.
Where's your sister?
Worlds of Steel, DJ Granite. Banse Kimoyo.
Yes.
Anamalizio Kameka Pole Pole should be right here.
Okay.
We'll be gracing your screens at around 8:30, so be sure to send in your requests at around that time. Unataka DJ anze weekend yako with what kind of genres? You took a surprise this particular morning. You can always that time, also call us live utuambie unataka DJ kuchezea nini. Before that, we'll be getting into some mental health conversations that we really need to have on that. Okay. Before that, State of the Nation.
Oh yes, of course, we have to discuss the big headlines and what it means to us. Today, usually we give a lot of prominence to youth matters. Yeah.